everyone, we are from SMK Moratuang, representing Sarawak, Malaysia.
Diverse. The simplest way to describe Sarawak is that Sarawak is ethnically diverse. Historically speaking, ethnic diversity has always been what makes Sarawak unique. People of different cultures, skin colors, belief, and traditions come together, emanating love, unity, and prosperity. Living in Sarawak means living in a land where respecting each other regardless of their race is an inevitable practice. In Sarawak, there are 4 main indigenous races: the Dayak, Malay, Melanau, and Orang Ulu. Chinese is also a predominant race in Sarawak, while Indians and Eurasians are considered to be minorities. In these 4 primary indigenous races, there are many more branches of smaller ethnics. A branch of the Dayaks, called the Sea Dayak, are what the Iban people are considered. And within the Iban people, there are even smaller tribes, each tribe having a similar but somewhat different culture than the other tribes.
Today, we are going to look at 3 aspects of what makes the Dayaks, the Malays, the Melanau people, and the Orang Ulu different. Aspect 1. Celebrations. First of all, each of them have celebrations. Despite having different celebrations with very distinct traditions, all these celebrations are not, in any way, limited to those who share the same race. In fact, open houses that welcomes people of different race is a well-celebrated norm in Sarawak, where everyone, regardless their race, is welcome to the celebration.
We Malays mainly celebrate Islamic celebration like Hari Raya Aidil Fitri, celebrated after a month of fasting, and Hari Raya Aidil Adha to honor the willingness of Prophet Ibrahim to sacrifice his son Ismail as an act of obedience to God's command. Besides that, we have a very specific festive tradition when it comes to weddings, where a huge feast with gatherings up to 4,000 people.
Dayak. Moving on, we have the Dayaks, which consists of native races such as Iban and Bidayo, celebrate Hari Gawai on the 1st June every year. Gawai is a sacred ceremony where we offer our gratitude to God after a rice harvesting season is over. Preparation for Gawai includes the early preparation of tuak, rice rine, which is a must every year. Uha! Orang Ulu. Orang Ulu is a large ethnic consisting of races like Berawan, Klabik, and Mirik, to name a few. They also celebrate the end of the harvesting season with traditional dances and prayer. Every branch of Orang Ulu has their own unique dance, like the Lun Bawang's Basa Ukoy and Alai Ngerang warrior dance.
Melanaus. For the Melanaus, we celebrate a traditional festival called Kaul Melanau, usually in the 3rd week of April every year, to appease the spirits of the sea, land, forest, and farm, also to Thanksgiving for good fortune. However, most modern-day Melanaus have turned to Islam and Christianity, leaving traditional and animistic celebrations behind.
For second aspect, food. When it comes to food, we have various kinds deriving from different ethnics. Every race has their own distinctive foods. As for the Malays, nasi lemak is well known for the trademark dish of Malaysia. Nasi lemak is a rice cooked in coconut milk and pandan leaf, with sambal, fried anchovies, boiled eggs, peanuts, and refreshing cucumber. In its simplest form, it is wrapped up in the banana leaf package. Nasi lemak is usually eaten for breakfast, but the actuality is that nasi lemak today is eaten every time. Not only for breakfast, it is for lunch or even for dinner. Moving on to Dayak. As we all know, Dayak consists of 2 native ethnics, which is Land Dayak, known as Bidayo, and Sea Dayak, known as Ban. Pansoh is a well-known dish for Dayak, where you can find it in other places. Pansoh is a food cooked in bamboo stem. The food, which is normally chicken or pork, is cut into small pieces, then marinated with salt and preferred spices. Then the chicken or pork, along with all its spices, is added into a bamboo stem and cooked by directly placing it on an open fire. The bamboo will surely give a special aroma and texture to the food. Besides panso, we also always cook glutinous rice in the bamboo stem, known as lemang or pangkal.
The traditional food for Orang Ulu is nubalaya. Nubalaya is steaming hot maize rice wrapped in leaf, which is daun iktip. It's normally served dry but also wet. Moist nubalaya is also preferred by many Orang Ulus.
Next, we have Melanau. The food that best represents the Melanaus as fishermen is the umai. Umai is basically raw and finely sliced fish that is added into a mixture of sliced onions. The dish is then completed with a lot of chili for the spicy flavor and a reasonable amount of lemon juice to give it a tangy taste.
Moving on in aspect 3, traditional clothes. Traditional clothes are a form of expressing the identity of ethnics in Sarawak. Every bit, every accessory has their own meaning and the symbolism to represent a race. Traditional ensembles are usually used during ceremonial moment. Malay, for the guys, commonly use baju Melayu with something on the waist and a songkok on the head to top it off. For women, usually use baju kurung, a blouse with a long sleeve and extend to between the hips and knees. The blouse is accompanied by a sarong, a long skirt, and a scarf to cover their head.
Next, we have the Dayaks and Orang Ulu. The Dayaks is divided to two groups, which is Iban and Bidayo. First, Iban. The Iban traditional costume for men is called baju burung. The traditional garment of the men is called kelabit, which is known as a short sleeve vest and sirat that decorated with elaborate motif at the end of the fabric. Next, the traditional costume for Iban women is called baju ngepan. The costume have a woven skirt with a headdress, high corset, and silver belt, and accessorized with a stud earrings, silver bracelet necklace, leg bracelet, colorful chest adornment, and selampai. Lastly, we have Orang Ulu. Orang Ulu similar to the Dayaks, which several feature like a headgear for the guy. The head have beaded panels, patchwork, and rosette. Accessories such as bracelet made of easy-to-find material such as ivory, wood, silver, and brass.
Finally, we have the traditional clothes for the Melanau ethnic. For the men, we have something called a baban, which includes a fit-in black jacket cut tunic, completed with a sampin around the waist and a waistband and a headgear on the head. For the woman, we have something very similar, quite similar to the Malays baju kurung, with satin blouse in black, songket worn as a sarong, and chest decorations with an aesthetic headgear.
Evidently, the differences of the ethnics in Sarawak are numerous. We celebrate different celebrations, wear different clothes, and we patently look different. Even so, our differences never get in the way in our daily life. Yes, we acknowledge them, but we don't use them as a way to determine who is superior and who is inferior. Instead, we employ them to bring us together. Yes, we may look differently and speak different tongues, but at the end of the day, we still breathe the same air. So let's not take into account what is irrelevant in life and see the world positively, casting negativity away, making the world a better place, a more united planet. Unity in diversity. That is the true meaning of Sarawak.